Good morning, girls. I hope everyone are doing well. From past 2.5 weeks, we have not done any chapter. We didn't start. We have taken a very long break, and most of you, I hope you have completed your notes, your assignments, and from this month, you are going to submit your assignments for the college, and we are going to correct those assignments. So all this going to take place. I think by I have given enough time to complete your notes. From this, the new chapter I'm going to start. Everyone's note should be up to date. Every day's note should be completed along with the assignments. I think it goes smoothly. So please follow all the videos and understand the concept. And today we are going to start a new chapter, dissolution of partnership firm, the last chapter of partnership firm. Okay, dissolution of partnership firm is a new chapter. Now what you mean by this dissolution? Dissolution means just closing down of entire business, winding up of a business. We call it as dissolution. So dissolution of partnership firm. Now we have seen the basics concepts of partnership firm, and when a new partner is entering into the business, what and all things will happen. And next we have seen when a retiring partner retires from the business, what the changes will happen. And when a death of a partner occurs in a business, what are the items that he is entitled to get. All these we have learned. Now dissolution of partnership firm means at the time of winding up of entire partnership firm, that is you are closing the entire partnership firm, that's called as dissolution of partnership firm. Totally you are winding up, you are going to settle all the accounts in your business, all the transaction, everything you are going to settle it, and you are going to close it. The business is not going to run anymore. So that is called as dissolution of partnership firm. So here is the meaning. According to section 39 of Indian Partnership Act 1932, the dissolution of partnership between all the partners of a firm is called dissolution of partnership firm. So when there is a dissolution of partnership firm, obviously all the partners are going to stop their work in the business, or whatever their connection between the business and the partners, partnership firm and the partners, the relationship between the partners and partnership firm will be no more going to exist. It is going to close. That is what the meaning says. Okay, the next is dissolution of partnership firm and dissolution of partnership. I think both seems to be same, but here you can see dissolution of partnership is different and dissolution of partnership firm is different. When you take it as firm, dissolution of partnership firm means that entire business will be included, whereas dissolution of partnership means only the partners. Are you able to understand? Dissolution of partnership firm means entire business, entire firm as a business, it is going to close. Whereas dissolution of partnership means it is only the partners, it is not going to affect the business firm, it is only between the partners we consider as dissolution of partnership. So what is this dissolution of partnership means? One partner can come into a business, or one partner can exit as in the form of retirement, or any other partner can die when there is a death of a partner. The remaining partners is going to carry out the business and they are going to run the partnership firm. The firm is not going to stop the activities. That is called dissolution of partnership. where one or two partners they may exit from the business, but the remaining partners can continue the same business. That is the termination of only the partners. Whereas dissolution of partnership firm means entire business is going to be closed, shut down. Entire partnership is going to be closed. All the business, entire business is going to close down, where no more remaining partners is going to continue the business. That is the meaning. This is important for 2 mark. Okay, you can see the differences here. Under the dissolution of partnership, the business of the firm is not terminated. So like if a partner is died or a partner is retired means other remaining partners can continue. It is not that it is entirely businesses cannot be closed. The other partners can continue. Whereas in dissolution of partnership firm, the entire business is going to be terminated. The business of the firm is terminated. All entire activity, all the business of that particular business will be shut down. It is going to wind up. So no more remaining partners or the other partners cannot continue. And next, assets and liabilities are revalued and the new balance sheet is drawn. Suppose when a new partner, admission of a partner or a death of a partner or retirement of a partner, anything takes place in a business, in a partnership firm, we are going to revalue all the assets and all the liabilities. And we are going to prepare a new balance sheet. That is what we have seen from past 3 chapters. Whereas when there is a dissolution of partnership firm undertakes, when the firm is closing entire business, we are not going to revalue, we are going to realize it. Realization will be done to the assets, and whatever the liabilities are to be paid, will be paid. See, assets are realized and liabilities are paid off. Suppose you're closing entire business means whatever the liabilities, we are liable as a business, we are liable to clear all the liabilities. So first we will clear all the liabilities. We are going to pay creditors, capital amount, whatever we have the liabilities, we are going to clear it. And all the assets will be sold, and with that, using that amount, we are going to do the all the settlements, everything we are going to do it. That is what that will happen in the case of dissolution of partnership firm. And next, under dissolution of partnership, the books of accounts are not closed, because even there is a retirement or retirement of any partner or any death of a partner, they are going to continue with a new gain ratio, new profit sharing ratio will be find out. They are going to continue, new balance sheet will be prepared. From the next financial year, they are going to continue with the transactions. Whereas when the dissolution of partnership firm is taken place, entire business is going to close down and no more transaction is going to happen. Obviously, we are going to close all the accounts. All the books of accounts will be closed. So these are the main important difference between the dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm. I'm once again repeating, dissolution of partnership means it is only between the partners. One or two partners can go exit the business, but still the partnership firm can run the activities using by the remaining partners. Whereas dissolution of partnership firm means no more transactions will be conducted. All the partners are going to terminate it and settle the entire accounts. They are going to pay all the liabilities and they are going to wind up the business. That is called as dissolution of partnership firm. And the next topic is circumstances leads to dissolution of partnership firm. Now, what are the reasons for dissolution of partnership firm? Means, what are the reasons to close the business? There may be many reasons to close a business or to wind up the business. So, some of them are, the first one is dissolution by agreement. Dissolution by agreement. Now, agreement means everyone know, no? Partnership deed. Do you remember partnership deed? It's an agreement. So what does it agreement says? Whenever they are going to prepare an agreement, they are going to prepare for certain some period, like it can be 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. So once that particular period is expired or that particular agreement is completed, they may go for dissolution of the partnership firm. They can completely close the business. That is one circumstances. And next, compulsory dissolution. So compulsory dissolution, again, we have many other options in that. Due to there are not options, sorry, compulsory dissolution, we have many other reasons, like if there is any more losses, they have totally, the partners are insolvent, they are not able to pay their liabilities, they're not they are running out of shortage of money, they're not able to complete their transactions. So at that time there is totally, the financial problems are more, that may lead for compulsory dissolution. Or any important person who is entirely carrying the business, that particular partner, he may die suddenly due to any reasons, accidents, or he may become insolvent. So when the strongest partner is not there in the business, the remaining partner may not continue the business, they may go for compulsory dissolution, can be happen. Okay, now do you remember what is this insolvent solvent partners? Insolvency, solvency, do you remember it? We have studied in first PUC. Solvency means when a person is not able to clear all his liability and his loss are more than his income, that becomes insolvent person. Okay, solvency means when a person is having sufficient assets to pay back all his liabilities and is no more incurring, it means he is not having much losses, but he is having the ability to clear all his liability. So that person we call it as solvent. Solvency. Insolvency, due to insolvency of any partner or insolvency of the firm, this insolvency occurs only when there is more loss happening in the business. Continuous losses happening in the business can lead to insolvency. So due to that also, the compulsory dissolution can take place. Okay. The next is on the happening of certain contingencies. So certain contingencies means certain cases. Suppose if they have taken one particular project, like you take any flyover construction company, if you take any flyover construction companies as a partnership firm, once the construction is done, that particular project is completed, they can shut down their business or able to. So it depends on their project. Once they start a new project, they can start a new partnership firm. After completing the entire project, they may go for dissolution of partnership firm. Or it can also be based on fixed number of years, like 10 years or 15 years, if they have put some agreements, or this project is taken for 15 years, once it is done, they can leave, they can close or wind up the business. That is called contingency. Certain things that comes under contingencies. Okay. And next, dissolution by notice. So notice, if any, this happens like due to the disputes between the partners. When any partner is not comfortable in the business or is not happy with what is happening in the business, or he want to raise his voice, he want to put a case on particular partners, when he want to raise, sue a case on that particular partners or partnership firm, obviously he will be sending the notice from the court. So when certain, any partner in the business, within the business itself, if they are sending the notice, court notice, to any conflicts between the partners, so all this may lead for the dissolution of partnership firm. And next is dissolution by the court. This is dissolution by the court. It happens in the case of illegal activities. See, dissolution of notice is given by the partners. Within the partners, any partner can give the notice due to their conflicts or misunderstanding between the partners. But dissolution by the court means when there is, usually it happens in the case of illegal activities. When a business is conducted all illegal activities, when it is come to the and it is confirmed by the uh, court, obviously the court will lead them to wind up the business. So it is order given by the court to close the business. If due to that also they can wind up the business. So these are the reasons why the dissolution of partnership firm takes place. I hope you have understood. Okay. The next is dissolution accounts. So in this dissolution of a partnership firm, what are the things we are going to find out? The first thing we are going to find out, realization account we need to prepare. Till now we have prepared revaluation account in all the three before three chapters. That is, in previous three chapters we have done revaluation account. Now in this chapter we are going to prepare a realization account. It's totally different. Don't get confused between revaluation and realization. See here, revaluation means you are not going to sell, you are just checking the current price. That is a revaluation. Whereas realization account means you're going to sell all your assets. Out of that assets, what you are gaining the amount. With that, you are going to pay all the liabilities. If still something is remaining, we will take it as a profit with that will be distributed among the partners. That is realization. You can see here it is an account prepared at the time of dissolution of a firm to ascertain the profits or losses on the realization of assets and payment of liabilities. So realization account means you're going to realize nothing but sale of all the assets and payment of all the liabilities. That we call it as realization. So in this chapter, first we are going to prepare realization account, and this is what you need to learn, a very 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 important. In this chapter you are not going to prepare balance sheet. Okay, and partners capital account, you know very well how whatever we have done in the previous chapter, same thing it is go with the partners capital account, no changes in that. And don't worry, in this you don't have any goodwill adjustment. Okay, and next we are going to prepare the cash or bank account. This is also simple. Okay, already you have know how to prepare a cash or bank account. Similarly we are going to prepare this. Okay, and in this case we are not going to prepare the balance sheet. So you may be thinking, Hammaya, there is no balance sheet. No need to crack my head for not tallying all this. You have to tally, my dear students. You have to tally this bank account. Till now, we in the bank account we used to see balance carried down. Is it right? Now, in this chapter, there is no balance carried down in bank account. You need to tally the amount in this bank account. Okay, it is simple, don't worry. When you compare to other chapter, this chapter is very easy. The next, the format for realization account, debit, credit, particulars, amount, it is same. Okay, so here just you may not able to understand what I have written here, but while doing the problems it will be easily understood. I'll just tell you in the just in the glance I'll tell you. Okay, just look here. Buy external liabilities at book value. This is nothing but whatever the liabilities are there in the balance sheet. In the given balance sheet, whatever the liabilities are there, those things we will be writing in the credit side first. Those we call it as external liabilities at book value. Okay, like creditors, bank loans, PDD. These are the certain items that you're going to write here. Okay, and next you are going to write the reserves for any asset. This is in the bank or cash account. What are the assets realized? Those things you are going to write here. That will be given in the adjustment. And next, any assets taken over is there means those assets taken over will be written here. Assets taken over by the partners. Which partner will be taken? That suppose A is taken certain assets means by A's capital account. Like that we are going to write. Okay. And next here, two realizable assets at the book value means whatever the assets given in the balance sheet, all the assets will be written here, like data, stock, machinery, buildings, plant and machinery, all this except cash. Except cash balance and bank balance, all the assets will be written in the debit side. That is what realizable assets at book value. Okay. After that, we are going to write all the liabilities, that is to bank account, all the liabilities paid. This will be given in the adjustments. So whatever the liabilities we have paid, that we are going to write it here. And next, any assets taken, any liabilities taken over by the partner means, here we have written assets taken over, right? The same way here, liabilities taken over, if there is in any adjustment, you need to write which partner is taken that particular liability, that we need to mention. And next we have two realization expenses. So this is also given in the adjustment itself. So every time there is certain expenses happening for realization. So when you're dissolving the partnership firm, when there is a winding up of the partnership firm, all the procedures will be, certain procedures will be taken place, so that you will be having certain expenses, that is what realization expenses. So that we will be taking it in debit side. So, and next, as usual, this loss on realization or profit on realization. As usual, we are going to calculate credit side, debit side, both the side we have to find out, and which side is highest. If expenses are less than the income, then you will get profit on realization. That is when you get the balancing figure debit side, that we will call it as profit on realization account. Suppose expenses are more and incomes are less, means your balance will be carried down here, balancing figure. So that is real loss on realization account. Whatever you get profit or loss, anything you have to share it for the partners and transferred for the partners capital account. Okay. And next we have partners capital account. As usual, balance brought down, reserve fund, profit and loss, any assets taken over will be written here, any liabilities taken over in the credit side. Okay. And next we have bank or cash account. This is balance brought down. These things and all I'll just explain. See, whatever in realization account you have written bank or cash account, no, by bank, this is credit side. Whatever you write under this bank account, all those items will be coming in the bank account in the debit side. And the same way in the debit side, in realization account, whatever you write under this cash or bank account, that is liabilities paid, that will be coming in the credit side here, the same amount. Okay. Any partner's loan, that also will be shown here. Okay. So these are the important things that you have to learn for today, and you should write everything in the notes. All this has to be written in the notes. Please write down everything in the notes. Okay. Any doubts you have, you can ask me. This is only the introduction. Okay. So you may not able to understand the format, what is this, but while solving the problem slowly, you can easily understand. This is the easiest chapter when I compare to the other chapters. Okay. So I'll be teaching with the problems. I'll start the next session. Thank you. Have a nice day. Please give your attendance in the comment section and your feedback also. And whatever the doubts you have, please message me in accounts group. Suppose if you have any doubts, please message me in accounts group itself. Don't message me individually, because sometimes individual message, if you are sending me personally, sometimes I may miss to read that. So I am missing many of the students' personal messages. So please send it in the group so that I can cross check it easily. Thank you. Have a nice day, girls.